A very good afternoon to everyone who attending this call. Selamat datang. So what a wonderful afternoon. My name is Kok Howg. You can call me KH. I work for Intel, part of the Internet of Things Group, IoTG Group, as a software engineering director. And today it's my honor to be invited to share with you a little bit about our company, what are we doing, and I'll talk about some of the exciting job opportunity in our company. And before I go and talk about, maybe I will talk about myself. So I've been in this company, wonderful company, for more than 20 years, since after I graduated from the university. And right now, I have a team of more than 60 people working on site, supporting all the important software projects for IoT for our division. So, and I'm sure that Intel is not new. We're the company who produce microprocessors who power your PC, your laptop, and data centers. And we do a lot more beyond the microprocessors, PC, and data centers. So let me play a video for you. And then I will go through in details on what other things that we're doing. And I'll talk about Intel Malaysia, and I'll talk about software career in Intel Malaysia.
We are experiencing the fastest tech transformation in modern history. As the creators of the technology the world builds on, Intel is innovating faster than ever to solve the world's most significant technology challenges and put that value in the systems, software, and ecosystem solutions you trust every day. Thousands of companies take a faster path to AI at scale using their flexible, Intel-based technology. Our leadership in silicon-based security and confidential computing continues to help you share data with reduced risk. Groundbreaking process and packaging technologies let us build entirely new ways to compute for leaps forward in user experiences and capabilities. And now we can offer that technology to the world through our foundry. Decades of work in open source software continues with our ongoing initiative to maximize code reuse across any hardware, no matter which company builds it. And we're collaborating with industry and government to move the world to a low carbon economy. Every day, our world-class architects and engineers do something wonderful. So you can too.
All right, so this is our company purpose, is to create the world-changing technology that improves the life of every person on the planet. And this is the company that has consistently doing that for the last 5 decades. So what are we going after? So Intel is a semiconductor company who produce microprocessors. We believe that the world require more microprocessors because the world is now becoming more digital. You have heard about digitization of our economy. So there are 4 main superpower that we call it that will change our life in the next coming years. Number 1, from computers to now compute. Well, no longer just needed a computer to compute. There are many things that we use today require power of compute. We believe that the connectivities with 5G and 6G coming years will change the way we connect to each other. We also believe that with the cloud that we have right now, it will also move to the edge and what we call the cloud to edge infrastructures. And last, which is the keyword that many of the people talk about, which is the AI. And these 4 things, superpower, that already happening right now will require more power to compute. And these will also help us, all the developers, to continue to innovate and to bring value to their customers. So Intel is a multinational company, and we have the plant all over the places in all different countries. here in Malaysia is one of the first offshore sites that we set up back in 1972. We also have many sales offices across the group, but this is what we have as the company, as a factory. Now, I want to give you a little bit for people who probably doesn't know about the Intel Malaysia history. This is the pictures that we had back in early 1970s. In the pictures is one of our CEO, Andy Gulf, who do the site visits. If you can notice, 1970s, it is muddy, it was raining. They was having a car visiting the Bandar Pass. Back then, it was, like a kampong area, right? And after rain, it was muddy. And these few folks were actually stuck in the mud. And what happened is the villager, the people from the kampong come out and help them to get out from the mud. And that is a classic demonstration of how Intel Malaysia's or Malaysian as a whole come forward to help others. So as early as 1972, we have set up the first assembly plant in Bandar Pass, Penang. And after that, 1978, after the assembly, we also set up the test plant so that we can actually, after assemble, can test it. Not long ago, right, 32 years ago in 1990s, we also stepped forward and say, besides having factory, we believe that we can also do product design and development. And therefore, we start with microcontrollers, processor design. And after that, we go into USB. After that, we go into the CPU. Of course, we don't stop there. Because of the rich experience that we had, we start to play the role for global team. We have a global shared services, which HR, IT, payroll, supply chain are also headquartered in Penang. And we started Kulim also. So right now we have two sites, two campuses. Back in 2016, we acquired a company, and now we also have another division focusing on programmable solution. So the highlight is programmable. And let me go through in details and later on. But if you remember, I say that as early as 1972, Intel have already invested and started up the assembly plant in Malaysia. So now, 2022, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary in this year. That shows how long the history for Intel Malaysia. So what are we doing in Malaysia right now? As I said, 4 major pillars. We've been the leaders for the corporate when it comes to manufacturing and advanced packaging. In fact, last year you may have heard the news. Intel is announced that as high as $7 billion investment to expand the factory in Intel Malaysia, and that is by far the single most biggest investment on Malaysia. So beside factory, we also have a design and development, which I'm attached to. We also have a team of sales and marketing and global sales services that cover HR, IT, payroll. Okay, so a little bit after 50 years, what have we become? I can tell you that on site, on 2 campuses, we have more than 13,000 employees on all the different campuses in Penang and Kulim. And we also hire people from region. We have people from US, and I think that's about more than 250. And as part of the engineering team, as we find there's a new innovation, we also found invention. Therefore, we have more than 700 patents since 1994. So that is about the people here on site. So a little bit deeper into what we do as a D&D, design and development team here, and how do we evolve since 1990. We started off taking the microcontroller design, which is relatively simple as compared to CPU design. And then we continue to actually increase our competency, increase our confidence, and transform the site and then say, hey, maybe we can actually do more. And true enough, starting from maybe about 50 to 100 people on microcontrollers, we continue to say, maybe we can do the chipset design. Maybe we can start with embedded design, with also microcontrollers. And over the years, this site has continued to expand from about 100 R&D engineers or design development engineers. We are now about 5,000 design and development engineers on site. And it's cover all spectrum of the product that we produce. And also for those who attended the seminar, I'm going to share about the software. If you have any question, feel free to go to the comments and ask a question, and I'll address it towards the end of my presentation. So let me go in, since I'm the software engineer, so allow me to share about how do we see a software value in our company, in our products. The lowest layer is what we call the foundation software. It's a software that required to power our hardware. So in these cases, we talk about device drivers, BIOS, firmware, anything that enable our silicon and platform to be powered up and loaded the OS. And you can start to use the hardware. And that's what it's called, it's the foundation software. Then after that, the software doesn't stop here. And for many of you probably know, we also required some tools and libraries and framework so that you can actually start to apply some solution. And that is where that you start to see that, hey, how can your solution optimize and differentiate from your competitors and offer from other customers? After that, once all these are being enabled, we can start to talk about how do I enable this through a solution, services and platform through cloud to the edge. So that is the three layer that we involve. And in Malaysia, we actually have involvement on all the three layers. So let me go in and zoom in a little about what is the job and what do I have, what do we have in Intel Malaysia. So out of 5,000 R&D engineers that we have, in fact, there are more than 2,000 software engineers in Malaysia itself. That could be the people who support the manufacturing, people who support the D&D, and I myself are part of the IOTG group. And we'll continue to look for talent to join us as we continue to see that the world continues to require more semiconductors, require more products. So this is a list that I can call out and I can talk about that if you have any question, but those are the jobs that we have opening right now and we have function here in Malaysia. So let me go to one by one. As we produce a silicon needed something called firmware to get it put up. So we require low-level software development and validation engineers in the area of BIOS, firmware, device driver. We also require a lot of people to help to develop an application so that we can have internal tools that require automation. We also look for data scientists, AI engineers to look into all the data we generated, apply insight. As a factory, we also look for a lot of the people to help us to continue to test our product so that we can get the highest quality product to our customers. So we're looking for test development engineers. And as we run the factory, we will not hire too many people, keep repeating, testing it. So we look for people who are into automation. And for those who work on the silicon and you want to do some EDA tools, yeah, we're looking for many of you to join as well. And for people who actually have a little bit of interest when it comes to the IT infrastructures, enterprise software, databases, yes, you are wanted. And after that, I know that the next speaker is going to talk about integration, DevOps. Yes, that is also things that we're looking for. And you may ask, what type of person we need, what type of person we will look required. I can tell you, we need all of you. Either you are experienced or looking for internship or just graduate and you want to join our graduate training program, you're all welcome. And if you want to get the details of what's the requirement and qualification, so do visit the jobs at intel.com. There's a link there to get the latest job opportunity. And what you probably need to do is filter, look for Malaysia's, and then there will be lists of the job available right now for you. So perhaps let me see if any question, specific question as my sharing. If there is no question, I'm going to invite a very important person to speak to you, which is my CEO, Pat Gelsinger. So let me bring him on board.
Greetings, Pat Gelsinger here. I'm happy to be in my dream job as the CEO of one of the most iconic companies in the world. I've personally worked with some of technology's greatest visionaries, and the founders of Intel are those that put silicon into Silicon Valley. We're a global team of more than 116,000 people, including the smartest technologists around the world. The world is becoming more digital. Technology has never been more important than it is today, and there has never been a better or more important time to be a technologist. I know the job market is really hot right now. Talented people in technology have options, a lot of them. But if you're serious about engineering, innovation, solving complex challenges, you should consider Intel. Our purpose is to create world-changing technology that improves the life of every person on the planet. Who else can say that and have it actually be true? Now is an exciting time for Intel, for this company, and for you as you begin your career. You'd get to execute on our bold new strategy to lead the industry in every category in which we participate in, to reinvigorate the ecosystems, to enable new markets. You'd work alongside the brightest minds, working on some of the coolest, most exciting, most important stuff in areas like computing, AI, industry standards, software, 5G, autonomous driving, networking, graphics, and the cloud. You'd have the resources and the vibrant, inclusive culture where you can thrive. And you'd have the support of the biggest tech geek, me. I'm as fired up today as when I walked through the doors of Intel some 40 years ago. I truly believe our best days are yet to come. Come along on this exciting journey.
So I hope that you get that clear message from our CEO to invite all the software professionals to join us. I received the first question. The question is, how does Intel stay ahead from other competitors in the software industry? I'm going to answer it in a multiple way, and feel free to add on. At this point, if you look at the software that we produce, I don't believe that we are compete in the software industry. And that's why I want to bring back this slide. First, all the foundation software that we enable go together with our hardware. And therefore, those are always go with the hardware capabilities. That software is definitely not compete in the software front, but focusing on the hardware capabilities. Now, on the second layer, when it comes to language and framework and tools and library, the focus has been optimizing the tool so that it works best on Intel silicon. So the strategy we've been going through right now and has been always in the past is embrace the ecosystem, find the right partners. So people may hear about Intel, and when we started off our microprocessor journey, it is mostly on PC. And we partner with Microsoft to make sure that the software take advantage of all our hardware. And same thing when we come to open source community, when we talk about Linux, we are the biggest contributor when it comes to open source. We believe that by having a healthy ecosystem, more people knowing how to use the hardware, that will bring the product better. Now, we compete in or participate in many areas, PC, data centers, and then also new areas like 5G, autonomous driving, And I think that there are a few things that I acknowledge what we are doing. Number one is hire the best industry leaders and talents to join us. Today, our software organization and also company CTO is an experienced 40 years veteran working with many companies, and he's now leading and lay out the foundation for us to be more competitive when it comes to software practices. So I think that we are coming from a long way. We'll continue to deliver the software value at a different layer. And to eventually to all the developers, to software is it easy to use? Is it quality? Is it fast? And I think those are the key elements that we'll measure ourselves to make sure that we're competitive when it comes to our software offering. I hope that answered the question. Let me take the second question. What specific quality do we look for as a job seeker when interview them for the software engineering position? I can remember that when I interviewed my first software job, more than 20 years ago, when I applied for the job as a BIOS engineer, they give me 3 tests and asked me to code it. And it's a homework. They asked me to code it and solve the problem within a week. So to give the answer short, I think we're looking for technically strong candidates who know how to code with a good programming skill set, technically sound. Second, the other attribute that we're looking for is a person who's willing to learn, to unlearn and learn. If you're passionate about engineering, if you are looking for innovation, you're looking for challenges and willing to learn, those are the important attributes to be a successful engineer in almost all company. The things I do 20 years ago is no longer the same that what I'm doing right now, because this is the industry that we always change. If you heard about Moore's law, that was the law that created and named after one of the founders, Gordon Moore. And what it says is every 2 years, we'll double the silicon count and half the price. And I think the industry for the last 40 years has been going through the same trend. And that will be the engineer looking for, that continue to challenge yourself, continue to learn yourself, and of course with the technical sound background, because we're solving the technical problem. Okay, I hope they answered the second question. Second question, when we're talking about talent, are Intel still require degree or master as a must requirement to apply for the job? This is a broad question. I believe most of the job that we're looking for will require degree and master, most of them, but not all of them. We should have a job also require maybe diploma, but I think that is likely minority. And please do visit our website, look through the qualification, and that will give you some idea. Okay, there's more question coming in. I like the question. Hopefully, I can answer all within my time allowed. I have a few more minutes. So let me take the question number 4. How if someone from business development domain having around 4 to 5 year experience can make a career switch to digital related work, roles such as data scientists and AI engineers? My answer to that is, in the current connected world, in fact, in the last 2 years, many of the people are already open with the idea on what we call the online classes, virtual training, or micro degree. I also see that in the education side, there are learning institutions that give away the micro degree to train on special skill that doesn't require a degree or necessarily the relevant degree. I have seen cases that people who actually learn about the technical skill set and eventually become successful in their career. So I believe that it is possible, but you may want to actually acquire and relevant experience or learning, or it could be micro degree to show that you can actually handle the job. Let me answer the 4th question of second part of the 4th question. Does the professional certification help the added skill set, what the other requirement looking into candidate skill set. I do believe that the professional certification do add to strengthen our confidence on hire any candidates. But it's not the only things we're looking for. But that is definitely something added to show that you have relevant skill set and interests. All right. This is question number 5 from Justin. Is there any job opportunity for fresh graduate in the field of data scientist or AI engineer? My answer is yes, that's for sure. We do hire the entry-level data scientists as an engineers. I do not know at this point, do we have an active hiring? I think last quarter, I'm sure that there are a couple of opening. I'm not sure if they filled, but to give an answer, since I didn't check, as we have a big database for hiring, I do believe that we have. So do continue to visit the website to see whether there's a new job posting. All right, this may take some time, but let me see if I can keep this short. The question is, can you tell us a bit about your career journey to be where you are at today? So I joined Intel as the fresh graduate, as the failure analysis engineer in the factory. When I first come in, I can tell you, I was so nervous. There was so much pressure. So much thing I need to learn. I don't know if I can survive after 4 years. Time went by, I have more than 22 years in this company. After 1 year, it was very clear to me that my passion is on software. So Intel do encourage people to apply the job internally with different departments. Therefore, I applied as a software engineer in one of the divisions focused on motherboard design. I spent about 9 years in that site, and Intel as a company has grown me from my technical skill perspective. I remember that I was sent to US for training. And then when I'm being back, I start to train others. And that's how I started my early career, by building a team on site that be able to do validation of our device drivers. And I get so much opportunity working with different company, different customers. I even been asked to go to Korea to support the customers. And those are accumulation of experience as I know about customers, so that I can bring back to a division. For the last 10 years, I again changed the job, focusing on from motherboard design to now more on a silicon, but it's a software to enable the silicon. And Intel, as such a company, has given us so much opportunity for me to learn. And I've been to many different assignments. And each of the assignments is always tough at the first, because I wasn't sure. But as we put in the time to go and learn, understand, learn from others, read the book, I managed to complete many assignments that have been assigned to me. And now, as I grow my career, they've been asking me to also help to coach others so that the junior can also come up. And over the time, I become the managers of the department. So that's probably summarize what I did in my career. All right. So I was told that time is up. We have other great speakers lining up for you. So with that, thank you for calling in, and appreciate all the questions. I hope that they give you an idea on what we're doing. So please do consider joining us. With that, thank you and have a good day.